Hi, I'm Mark Wade from CenterCityCondos.com. In this short video, I'd like to explain what's going on in the Old City condo market for the first quarter of 2026. And I've specifically chosen units of $500,000 and above. And what's really interesting is first of all, I'm a big fan of Old City. I bought my first condo in Philadelphia in 1990 in Old City. I paid $72,500 for it at Bridgeview Place. It included parking, and I swore that I overpaid for it. So, but anyway, there's some really neat units available in Old City. And I think what we're finding here is that new construction is very, very hot right now in Old City. And a couple of these places, like 164 North 2nd Street, we've had three sales here. Look at this. Closed property, closed at 1.780. We don't know the square footage here, but hold on, let me give you a couple more. This is 241 Bread Street. This is the second floor. This is an interesting building, 5 units altogether. This was 2,200 square feet, sold for 540, didn't have parking. That is appropriate, in my opinion. That's an appropriate price for that building and for that unit. 133 North Bread, Unit L1. This was 1,400 square feet, sold for 544. First level brought the price down just a little bit. It's my opinion. It's currently active under contract. We don't know what the actual sale price is, but even at 544, I think that's a phenomenal value. Okay. 225 Race. This closed. This is like a brownstone / warehouse building. This was a top floor unit, really neat, 2 bed, 2 bath, 2,000 square feet, sold at 770. Lot of original charm and detail. Kitchen was from the late 90s, early 2000 era. I think that's a pretty good price, 770. I don't think these people overpaid for it all. A unit like this is going to have low condo fees because there is no doorman, there is no elevator, there is no pool, there's no gym, there's no garage, none of those amenities that really start to spike up monthly condo fees. Here's 113 North Bread, Unit 383. I remember this unit. I sold this unit back in, oh my gosh, 2004, 2005, something like that. It's a neat unit, 3 bedrooms, really 2 bedrooms with a den to be fair. 1,540 square feet, sold at 660. And that was very close to asking price and it went within a week or so. This is the bank building in Old City, 421 Chestnut. Some people could say, well, Chestnut, isn't that, Society Hill? Let's just say half and half. Under contract, this didn't take too long to sell for 950. Great square footage in a beautiful building that has services with the hotel next door. You have services from the hotel. There's a parking garage behind with lowered rates, but doorman building, very interesting, very, very boutique and very interesting. Look at some of those windows on the front. Isn't that magnificent? Just a beautiful facade. Here's another unit pending. This is 528 Manning Walk. I'm a huge fan of these. These are stacked townhouses right in the heart. This is really more Society Hill. I don't know why I included this one, but 1,400 square feet, 655. I saw this unit. I was a big fan. This unit here, 115-119th Cuthbert, I came inches with it and selling this. Is sold in about 3 days. It was a buy level, 2,200 square feet with parking, sold for 1.1. That's $500 a square foot. Neat space. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. It's again a boutique building. I think there are only like 12 units in the building. It sits on the corner of Cuthbert and Masher. If you know Old City, you have no clue where that is. It's between Front and Second, Market and Arch, hidden back in these little cobblestone streets. Really neat building. This is 108 Arch. 108 Arch. That would be your neighbor right there. Okay. I missed that one. I love that unit. So 108 Arch, I believe I was sold this. This is a unit I sold, 725, 1,400 square feet. 108 Arch, there's a picture of it right there. But 108 Arch is a modern, newish, about 20 years old, modern building that still holds up really well today. A little bit on the minimalistic side, but the fit and finish is very strong, includes parking. Really nice building. It's one of my favorite buildings in town. Definitely my favorite building in Old City. 319 Vine, this is a great unit only because 4th floor, corner unit, 1,200 square feet, sold for 635. I believe this unit had a parking spot on it, and that closed earlier, about 2 months ago. Look at the floor-to-ceiling windows corner. Isn't that great? Spectacular. What do we have here? The 225 South 4th, this is under contract. This is a 3rd floor unit. I know these unit. This was a flat. 1692 square feet. This one sold fairly quickly. Has had parking. And again, the Willings is maybe a little bit more Society Hill than Old City, but any buyer who is looking at $1 million property in Old City would absolutely look at this, and vice versa. So it's currently under contract. We don't know the true sale price, but my guess is it sold for that price or more because it was a great unit. And here we get into a little bit new construction. This is 141 North 3rd Street. They took a building here and they combined it with, I believe, they built a building behind it, 1,300 square feet, sold for $800,000. That's new construction, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, $800,000. That's a pretty good price. And so what we're seeing in Old City is that people are willing to pay. When I moved into Old City back in the 1990, there were studios and 1 bedrooms. And then over the past 40 years, the neighborhood has just grown to accommodate places like a 1,300 square foot unit for $800,000. 225 Corey, 3,000 square feet. Look at that. Almost $1,000 a square foot in Old City. Fit and finish, very modern, very beautiful, quiet building, low condo fees. There weren't a lot of amenities in the building, but a 4 bedroom, 4.5 bath at 2.7. And here's another one. Isn't that neat? Look at the outside of that building. Just spectacular. 3 beds, 2 bath, 1.7, $1,000 a square foot. It's currently active. We don't know what it actually sold for, but yeah, I'd pay $1,000 a square foot to live in that building. So another one under contract, 1.4 for 1432. This is more, and now we're getting down to the Society Hill pieces here. So the story of the day, the conclusion here is that Old City does produce some new construction pieces that pull some phenomenal dollars that it could never ever have pulled 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's pulling quite regularly now. So great values. Again, I'm a huge fan of Old City. I lived in that neighborhood for a little over 20 years before I moved about a half-mile north on the river in Waterfront Square. Huge fan of Old City. I know it like the back of my hand. Any questions about Old City or some of these properties? If you're thinking about expanding your search a little bit, if you'd like some to do a Zoom meeting with me, we can do a deep dive into some condos and really look at the how and why behind the asking price and the sale prices and things like that. Anyway, Mark Wade, CenterCityCondos.com. Any questions? My contact information is in the bottom of this email. Thank you.